and it was just like a whole big mess. And I had one camp where I had normal school staff that fed 600 kids, so the 400 that we had was like no problem, and I didn't even have to worry about it. So there's different sides to that. I also work with contacting youth groups before they get there, so I make sure all their information is like checked and good with what I have, so that I don't get any surprises. Like, I have an extra 15 kids and now I have to create like 4 more sites that I didn't know I had to do. And then on Saturday night, rest of our red shirt staff come in. So the rest of our red shirt staff are volunteers, and I will run through those positions in a second. But they come in, and we, as the 4 of us, are kind of like the top people that trickle down, but we all work as a team, so it's hard to determine. Like, they all ask us what to do, but they're a big part of the team, so we don't like to say we're in charge. So that's always a tricky part, but they help support us supporting the campers. And then we meet the co-sponsor. So there's always a co-sponsor, so it's someone in the community or an organization within the community that helps provide funds that make the camp possible. Because the campers pay for camp, but that money, a lot of that goes for like our salaries and their food and their lodging. So the co-sponsor raises all the money for the materials that they get on the site. And so we meet with them beforehand, and that helps us gauge throughout the week if we can add more sites or how much flexibility we have within our budget. If campers say, oh, my resident wants this painted too, can we buy more paint, type of thing. So this is one of the best pictures of all the staff at my second camp, and I'll just run through really quick. So this is the 4 of us summer staff. And we're paid positions. And then so this one was an odd camp. We had 2 directors because one was training. But this guy is our main director, and he is he's not over us, but he helps us make the last calls, and he's kind of it's a tricky in between that he's slightly above us. He has more pull. If you go back to the headquarters and we need something, he can get it done, type of thing. So he just kind of oversees all of the staff and supporting us and making sure our jobs are getting done, and that we don't need further support with that. So that's kind of their role throughout the week. They're helping campers feel comfortable, just filling in where the cracks are. Let's see. So the site coaches, they're super important. They're the ones that go out to the sites, because I can't be at the sites and my materials manager can't be at all the sites. So they're the ones that are actually helping the kids and helping the adults build the things if adults don't know what to do, if directions are unclear. They're like the mastermind behind all the sites. So they each get about, depending on how many there are, they can get between about 10-ish sites. Depending, this camp we had a rather large number of them. So they probably got closer to like 6 sites. But they just go around all day. They go around to sites that, on their sites, and check in with their sites. And then they have like paperwork that they have to fill out for me, so I know what's happening on the sites. So then there's the MC. So that's the person that's talking during program. And so they're normally very big personalities, and they're just spreading the word of God throughout the week with the campers, and that's really their big focus. So, and they take God sightings from the kids when they come back. The kids check in, and he records different God sightings that the kids have. Then we have our program team member. So that's a person that helps go out and take pictures at the sites of the kids, so that they can have a slideshow at the end of the day and have a token of memory from their camp. So then there's worship director. So that's kind of what it says. It's the person that leads worship during the programs that we have. They work with the kids during the night for the night program, and work with them to get them involved in either singing or playing instruments depending on what's there. We have our office team member, and this person is just supporting the office. Okay, this is the person that's just supporting the office manager in her roles. So just kind of doing the odd things around the office, managing that type of thing.
Are all these people volunteers except for you four?
Us four and the director gets paid.
Okay.
Yeah. I was going to clarify that, and then I forgot. Sorry. So this is a facility team member, and they just take care of the facility. That means a lot of like trash. Sometimes it's refilling toilet paper, just kind of helping the custodians make sure they get what they need, because we're all a big team. The cafeteria host. Yeah.
Those volunteers, they come from everywhere too.
Yes, yep. They come from everywhere. On this particular camp, a lot of our volunteers came from one specific youth group. So a lot of the site coaches and actually the MC, they all came from one youth group that was also on the trip. And ironically, also our materials manager was from that youth group. So we had like a bunch of people from this one youth group that knew each other. And that's, you see a lot of youth groups bringing adults. So like Cindy May was a red shirt last year, and you see that quite frequently. But otherwise they come from all over. And sometimes group flies them in. At my first camp, we didn't have a worship director, or worship leader, and so group asked one of their reliable ones if he would come for the week and volunteer, but they'd pay for his flight. So they paid for him to fly in, and he was able to make it because they paid for that. So, but normally they pay for their own travel. So then there's the cafeteria host, which supports me in the cafeteria, making sure tables are clean, making sure the cafeteria has what they need, making sure the kids get their lunches, type of thing. Okay, during camp week, it's very different from the campers' experience. A lot of our job as red shirts is to hide things from the campers. Not hide things from the campers, but make the campers not see the bad. we're the behind the stage people that keep everything behind the stage. So the campers need to have a great week no matter how crazy our lives are. So that means that we're always smiling even when we're dying. By Friday night, no sleep and just want to go to bed, but we can't because we have to load up our truck so that we can leave in the morning. But my role, like I said, is just to divide those campers into different crews and send them out to sites. So for me, the best part of the day is when every camper is off the site, off the school ground, which sounds really weird, but that just means that I did my job and that no one's like lost without a crew. And so I had one night that was very intense, and I had to rearrange a bunch of kids, and the best moment was when they were all gone, and it was like only 10 minutes after program was done, and I was like, I can't believe I just did that. I did. So, and then throughout the week, as sites finish, I reassign to different sites. So always the crews aren't allowed to come back to the school until like 3 o'clock or 3:30 or something like that. And so I am responsible for making sure they all have places to be. And if there's like safety concerns at sites, I help deal with that, communicating between whoever needs to be involved in that process. So my day started normally around 6 a.m. if I woke up to my alarm, which was very rarely. But and I fill up water jugs for the kids to take. I fill up water jugs for the kids to take to the site. So it's like the 5-gallon water jugs, and I, with a couple other of the red shirts, fill those up. So the kids can just take those out. It's one of the kids' roles to take that out to their vehicle. And so I started the day doing that. And during the day, throughout the day, it's just a lot of supporting other staff members. I get to travel to sites some days if it's not too crazy. I take phone calls from crews asking questions. I field a lot of the questions about materials.